Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Good afternoon on the national news this hour from Baba Bagede Imo Television. First, the headlines. Nigeria government signs 15-point memorandum with organized labor. NLC TUC plans joint visitation to refineries. Ooni begs Nigerians to be patient with Tinubu. Terrorists invade community in Katsina state, kill ward councillor, attack several houses. On sports, Carlo Ancelotti calls Osimhen very dangerous ahead of Napoli versus Real Madrid on sports. The news in detail. I am Morire Fabila Lawal. The Memorandum of Understanding was signed by the representative of the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC, TUC, the Trade Union Congress, and the federal government. The President Bola Tinubu-led Nigerian government on Monday night signed a 15-point memorandum with the organized labor, the Nigeria Labour Congress, and TUC, the Trade Union Congress, in Abuja after an emergency session. Information had earlier reported that the organized labor suspended its indefinite nationwide strike, which was billed for Tuesday today. This was after both parties signed a 15-point memorandum of understanding as a last-minute effort to avert the planned nationwide strike. The Memorandum of Understanding was signed by the representative of the Nigerian Labour Congress NLC and Trade Union Congress TUC and the federal government. The memorandum reads, arising from the withdrawal of subsidy on premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, by the federal government, and the resulting increase in the price of the commodity, Nigeria Labour Congress NLC and the Trade Union Congress TUC issued a strike notice which had elapsed, and they were poised to embark on a strike billed to commence today. 2023, consequently, a meeting was called by the federal government to avert the strike, and after more discussion, the following agreements were reached. Moving on to the next story. The Ooni of Ife, Obadeye Ogunwusi Ojaja II, has pleaded with Nigerians to exercise patience with President Bola Tinubu administration, given the current economic situation ravaging the country. The Ooni made the appeal during a visitation to his family compound as part of activities to mark the grand finale of the Olojo Annual Festival in the Katsina area in Ile-Ife on Monday. The monarch admitted that Nigeria is currently at its trial period where the citizens are facing a lot of challenges in all ramifications of life. But I know that after this festival, normalcy will return to the country, as the problems we are facing will soon come to an end, he said. The royal father admonished all and sundry to endure more and ensure their support for their leaders, saying by doing this, there would be a great achievement. We are almost getting there, for gold has to pass through fire before becoming shining. Federal government alone cannot do it without the cooperation of the masses. Therefore, let all hands be on deck, for a tree cannot make a forest, neither any nation can get to its promised land without the contribution of the generality, Oba Ogunwusi concluded. Moving on to the next story. Terrorists locally duped as bandits have attacked Nasara community in the Funtua local government area of Katsina state, killing when Samaila Buhari Meirago, the councillor representing Nasara ward in the local council. The ruling All Progressive Congress APC member was killed by the terrorists on Monday at his residence in Funtua town. A source informed that the gunmen shot sporadically and attacked houses without hindrance. He lamented that such attacks had become frequent in the area and called on the government to address the situation at hand. Bandits on Monday invaded Nasara ward, Funtua LGA of Katsina, and killed the councillor of the ward known as Meirago, he said. Katsina and other northwest states are being terrorized by bandits and other criminals. The government kill, maim, and kidnap for money, despite the efforts of the government to tame them over the years. Moving on to Lagos State. Motorists have lamented the return of some policemen who specialize in extorting motorists around the traffic light in the Isheri Berger area of Lagos State. The policemen said to be attached to the Isheri police station were said to have been carrying out their activities in the last 3 months. After receiving a series of complaints from motorists who had fallen victim to the law enforcement agent, Information on June 28, 2022 investigated their activities. A correspondent noted that the policemen targeted motorists seeking to connect from Dega Isheri Road to the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway using the old traffic light. The publication that followed the investigation led to the removal of the policemen from the community by the immediate past State Commissioner of Police, Abiodun Alabi. However, the policemen have since returned to the spot to continue extorting motorists, whom they usually accuse of beating the traffic light. A motorist Sunday or Rodike, who fell victim to their antics, recently said the leader of the group collected 25,000 naira from him before releasing him. Another man who was in a mufti, dark and on the fat side, came and introduced himself as a task force officer. The policeman advised that I cooperate with him. He came into the car and showed me a picture showing my car's plate number, which was captured by a purported camera at the traffic lights. Moving on to the next story, Sokoto State. The Sokoto State Police Command has confirmed an attack carried out by a suspected bandit that claimed the lives of 3 persons and left others injured in the Soro community, Benji local government area of the state on Monday. The State Police Public Relations Officer, ASP Ahmed Rufai, while confirming the attack, disclosed that some gunmen suspected to be bandits launched an attack on the Soro community, but men of the command with support of military operatives swiftly moved in and successfully repelled the attack. However, the police spokesman said the bandits, out of frustration, set some houses on fire, as a result of which 3 of the residents lost their lives, while a few others sustained various degrees of injuries. Information learned from sources in the affected village that the marauders regrettably successfully abandoned several other persons. 8 people, who are mostly women, were abducted and carried away on motorcycle by the bandit, a local hunter informed correspondent. Some community members who spoke about the incident informed that some vigilante groups who carried out a reprisal attack on the Fulani community led to a situation that forced the police commissioner, Ali Kaigama, to intervene and initiate a dialogue among the residents and the affected areas. Moving on the national news. The family of an 8-year-old girl who passed away after an operation from police officers, spectators at a football game in Philadelphia, has agreed to an $11 million settlement. The decision was reached at federal court more than 2 years after the tragic incident. Fanta Biltil died in the mother's arms after 3 officers who made this happen in August 2021. 3 officers, Sean Dolan, 27, Devon Smith, 36, and Brian Dabney, 43, were charged with the action and pleaded guilty to minimal charge under a plea bargain. The initial report filed by the Delaware County District Attorney's Office on the incident was that a gun battle erupted among a group of teenagers in a heated argument. According to the report, what started as an altercation led to the firing of 25 shots at a car and a crowd of people leaving a football game in a small borough near Philadelphia International Airport. It triggered 3 police officers who had pitched camp nearby to return fire. However, one of the bullets made the act, thereby hitting a girl. Investigation later established that the act made the girl to die by the bullet from ballistic examination conducted on the bullet could not be pinpointed which officers shot the bullet. The grand jury therefore ruled that since the 3 were complicit in firing 25 rounds, they should all be charged. The mother to the lady observed that no amount of money fills the vacuum created by the tragedy of her daughter passing on August 27, 2021. She hinted that the family desire is to focus on the family foundation and preserving the girl legacy. The family's law firm expressed the hope the settlement would offer some form of justice and accountability for those profoundly affected by the incident. In the aftermath of the shooting incident, the 3 officers explained to investigators that they believed a car approaching them was a likely source of gunfire, leading them to fire back. In November 2022, the officers pleaded guilty to 10 counts of reckless engagement as part of the plea agreement. Charges of the act and involuntary act again were dropped, and in May, they were sentenced to 5 years of probation. The decision to negotiate this plea deal was made in consultation with Fanta's family, according to prosecutors. The settlement marks the conclusion of 3 separate lawsuits against the borough of Sharon Hill in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, offering a degree of closure to those affected. The borough expressed condolences to the Bilty family and pledged to enhance policies to prevent similar tragedies, ensuring the safety of residents while rebuilding the public rests. Fancy attended the game with a family member before this scene happened to her. From that story, we'll go to the last story, which is coming from sports. Real Madrid boss Carlo Ancelotti has opened up on a threat posed by the talismanic Victor Osimhen when Los Blancos face Napoli in the UEFA Champions League today. Osimhen has scored 5 goals in 8 games this season and will once again lead the game and charge when Napoli hosts Real Madrid on Tuesday night tonight. The Nigerians scored 5 goals in the Champions League last season, on the way to scoring 31 goals in all competitions for Napoli. With that sports story, we've come to the end of today's national news from BGI Television. Before we go, some headlines. Nigeria government signs 15-point memorandum with organized labor NLC TUC. Ooni begs Nigerians to be patient with President Tinubu. Terrorists invade community in Katsina State, kill ward councillor, attack several houses. Gunmen kill 3, abduct 8 in Sokoto. Family of 8-year-old girl shot dead by cops, arrests, agreed to $11 million bail charge. And on sports, Carlo Ancelotti calls Osimhen very dangerous ahead of Napoli versus Real Madrid. For updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Baba Bagide Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell, select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagide Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawan. Good afternoon.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.